Not much difference in height. It's U.S. versus Russia. Let's send it up to Carlos Kramer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your next bout. He's 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 3 wins and 1 loss. He stands 167.6 centimeters tall and weighs already 61.5 kilograms. Representing Bali MMA and fighting out of Bali, Indonesia. Give it up for Zack Lang. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist making his professional debut. He stands 169 centimeters tall and weighs already 61.2 kilograms. Representing KHK MMA and fighting out of Dagestan, Russia. Give it up for Gamzat Magomedov. Your referee is Nakia Melody.
Referee will be Nakia Melody.
Cyrus, I've had the pleasure and honor of watching both these men fight in person, and I do have to say I think Zack has a long night ahead of him.
Zack Lang, of course, quite a veteran here in the sport. Zack Lang taking on Gamzat Magomedov. In the corner of Gamzat, of course, is the very famous trainer, the father of Khabib Nurmagomedov. That is Abdul Manap Nurmagomedov. And it's Zack Lang in the white. In the black with the gray is Gamzat. Oh, right down the middle. Zack Lang not backing up, fighting out of Bali MMA. You see a big right hand by Gamzat.
Gamzat is an IMMAF world champion. This is his professional debut.
When you take a look at the record of Gamzat Magomedov, it has 2 professional wins, both wins by stoppage. Oh, and a huge head kick. Zack Lang is sent reeling. Zack Lang with that record of 4-1, a very, very talented fighter out of that very impressive Bali MMA group here in Indonesia. Coming off of 2 straight wins, one over Jay Perrin. That was by decision, a split decision. Then it was a KO in round 1 over Dan Bonnell, Coliseum of the Cage 1.
Zack is showing some very, very slick striking. Slick enough, in fact, so Gamzat decided perhaps wisely to take it to the floor.
Absolutely, as Gamzat tries to get the ground, but Zack Lang not giving up. You're going to see a lot of Bali MMA guys on this card. Also some great guys from Eagles MMA. And here we go. The southpaw Zack Lang trying to use that to his advantage.
Gamzat is very, very clearly not having the striking battle that he'd wanted to, and he's going to try and take it to the mat where he feels like his Abdul Manap-inspired wrestling can do it for him. We saw an attempt at a switch there. That's not likely to work in a Russian, but the back take is having a little bit more luck.
Zack Lang very, very savvy there on his takedown defense. Very, very scrappy, great scrambling ability here. Gamzat Magomedov is not getting what he would normally get. I think it's an experience factor, but he is attacking his Magomedov relentlessly. Gamzat Magomedov has Zack Lang up against the fence. Lang not really in a dangerous spot right now at 4-1. This is a guy that has been under those professional lights for 3 more fights than Gamzat Magomedov, and sometimes that can make a world of difference. This is 3 5-minute rounds.
There was a timekeeper error.
Well,
the referee wisely overrode it. Fight continues.
Nakia Melody, of course, a fantastic referee. Kind of threw these guys off of their mode there, and as they stood him back up. kind of a disadvantage there for Gamzat. He was in a dominant position, and then they stopped the fight and had to reset. Bali MMA, a bunch of tough guys, specifically a guy, Anthony Leone, I know very well. And, you know, it's a tough group that's been around for just 3 years, but they've been making a big splash all over Southeast Asia.
Tough as hell and skilled as well. We're seeing high-level cage fighting here.
Great rhyming acumen there, Carrick. How relentless is Gamzat? I mean, he is going for that takedown. He is not giving up at all. He hasn't backed off. He hasn't tried to reset, tried to go back to the strikes. He wants the takedown. He wants to bully Zack Lang.
If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, you're a fan of Khabib Nurmagomedov, and this is the exact same kind of wrestling-inspired attack that you see from that now 24-0 fighter.
And champion. Under 30 seconds as Zack Lang gets out of trouble and is going to battle again, going to use that stand-up. He wants to test the mettle of Gamzat Magomedov. Is Gamzat the real deal, as this is his biggest test to date? Final seconds of round number 1, and that is gonna be it. That is actually the end of the round. Interesting round. You know, I think Gamzat maybe did a little bit more, but Zack Lang most definitely did not tuck his tail and run. He had a fantastic round, showed a lot of durability, showed a lot of resolve, not giving in to that relentless attack of Gamzat Magomedov.
You can make an argument for either fighter having won this round. It's going to come down to in the opinion of the judges, as to what's more important, wrestling or striking. If you're a striking-oriented judge, you're going to give this to Zack 10-9, and if you appreciate high-level wrestling, Gamzat's going to take it 10-9. Little replay action now.
You see the corner of Gamzat. You know, there's two very, very important people there. Not only is Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov in his corner, but our one and only founder of Brave Combat Federation, the Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Prince Sheikh of Bahrain, and of course our inspiration for Brave Combat Federation. He is in the corner of Gamzat.
I don't want to make light at all, but the Prince really is a prince of princes.
And here we go, Zack Lang in a very unorthodox position here.
That low crawl may have been inspired by none other than John Jones. Zack and John actually both came out of the same gym originally.
Team Bomb Squad, you're absolutely right.
Ryan Ciatoli's Bomb Squad, that's right.
They were all living in a basement together. Anthony Leone, Zack Lang, John Jones. Zack Lang now in a very tough spot against a very strong wrestler and just a guy that is a grappling powerhouse in Gamzat Magomedov. He's playing with fire, trying to clinch it up with a guy like Gamzat.
Gamzat may be trying to set up a leg attack there.
But Lang once again gets back up to 1 foot. Great balance by the young fighter originally from New York. Now in Bali. Gamzat can really take some punishment. Those are some big elbows by Zack Lang.
Gamzat did manage to get it down to the ground, but he took some punishment in order to do so.
And of course, considered one of the best, absolute best gyms in Russia is Eagles MMA. So many fantastic Dagestani fighters. Of course, we know about the legend of Khabib Nurmagomedov, but there is a ton of great young talent coming out of that gym, and they are in promotions all over the world, including Brave Combat Federation. And obviously, we have a few of them on this card this evening. And one of those that could definitely go up in the rankings and could definitely make a splash here is Gamzat Magomedov. He's still in a dominant position against the American Zack Lang.
There is a Russian invasion. Gamzat is a special forces fighter in it, but Zack does not care.
Jakarta, Indonesia. It is Brave 12 KHK Legacy. We hope that you are hashtagging wherever you are, hashtag Brave CF12, and let us know you're watching around the world. Brave, of course, being seen in over 60 countries all around the world. And Gamzat Magomedov once again battling, but great sprawl by Zack Lang. Trying to get to the back, trying to go for that Mr. P.
This is the very definition of relentless wrestling, but I'd like to see Gamzat do some punishment from on top. Wrestling for its own sake doesn't necessarily have much of an effect in this sport.
Gamzat relentlessly going for the takedown, just wants to control Lang. Hasn't done a ton of pure damage, but he has controlled the fight so far. About 90 seconds left here in round number 2. That's incredible. The relationship now that Eagles MMA and KHK MMA are starting to enjoy, and you put those two great organizations together, and that really is going to provide some amazing talent here in Brave Combat Federation.
That was perfectly put, Cyrus. That's a case where 1 and 1 equals 10.
And it's all about those relationships that you know, Sheikh Khalid and Mohammed Shahid have made over the past, you know, year and a half of the existence of Brave Combat Federation. Every country that they go to, they make these incredible relationships with the government, with the biggest gyms. And it's really showing in our product now as we continue on this incredible world tour, Carrick.
It's absolutely mind-boggling that Brave has reached this kind of stature in under 2 years.
And of course, our next stop on the world tour will be June 9th in Belfast, Northern Ireland, as we get very excited about that. Zack Lang with his back against the fence. Gamzat is taking some punishment. Big knees by Lang, and Gamzat throwing a knee that nearly caught the no-no parts of Zack Lang.
Zack has got to be very, very happy with his performance as this round closes out. He definitely won the striking battle.
He did, but I think he was in a precarious position there for the majority of the round with his back up against the fence. And I think for a lot of judges, that isn't a sign of a winning round when you have your back against the fence. No matter how you are defending it, even if you are landing knees and you're being savvy, I just don't think that's a good place to be.
I agree. For the second round in a row, it's going to come down to a judge's decision as to whether they ask themselves who hurt who more or who controlled who more. But for hurt who more alone, I have to give this round to Zack.
That sounds like a very patriotic U.S. attitude is what that sounds like, Carrick. We try not to bring any bias into the broadcast, and you are clearly against our Russian fighter. That's what's going on right now.
I do want to add that my neighbor Zack now represents the U.S. and Indonesia as well, where he's made his new home at Bali MMA, which, as you noted, is making great strides in this sport.
Well, we're going to go to a third round, and this is going to be a big test for Zack Lang because he doesn't want to end up in that same position for the third round. He's going to have to come out here, and he's got to be very evasive. He's going to have to stay out of the grips of Gamzat Magomedov. Otherwise, he could be on the bad end of a decision.
Zack is breathing deep. He's shaking the fatigue out of his muscles, and he is ready. Characteristic Brave show of friendship.
And here we go. Zack Lang in the white. Magomedov in the black, gray, and red. Oh, an inside leg kick, and that crumbles Zack Lang. Big time damage, and Lang is hurt. Great recovery by the American.
I think Gamzat is making a mistake to return to his wrestling. I understand that that's his base, but he just had terrific luck with his striking. I think he should have kept at it.
Zack Lang shucks off Gamzat Magomedov, and now they're going to stand up. Very, very savvy striker is Zack Lang. A guy that, of course, has had a ton of Muay Thai fights as well. Very talented stand-up fighter.
What a beautiful combination that was, and a beautiful counter.
Big swing and a miss there by Lang as Gamzat charges forward like an absolute beast.
Zack's about to throw some knees. Nope. Tried a front headlock.
Now you see this Muay Thai action here for Zack Lang, who should have the advantage, but Gamzat Magomedov is giving him all he can handle. And they're still tied up. Zack Lang. Big swing there by the American, but Gamzat continues to charge forward. As you see, Gamzat Magomedov continues to push up against the fence. Zack Lang in another bad position. Magomedov, it is much of the same for the Russian fighter. Battling, grinding. And the crowd here in Jakarta not showing a whole lot of love to Magomedov and grasping onto that guillotine, but unable to close it out is Zack Lang. Magomedov just too tough for that one. See the corner of the Volley MMA, Anthony Leone and their trainer.
Regardless of the outcome of this bout, I want to give a huge shout out to Zack Lang. He'd only fought once in the last 5 years. Ring rust is real, and he shows none of it. He's fighting like a shining star.
You know, the interesting thing was that originally this event was supposed to be in Bali, and it was a last-minute change, and we moved the fight to Jakarta. But at the same time, that was a big reason why Zack Lang jumped on this, because he trains out of Bali. He thought that'd be a fantastic opportunity. He comes to Jakarta. He's putting up a great fight, but you got just a rising star, an absolute stud in Gamzat Magomedov, and we're seeing that on full display.
At the IMMAF Worlds, Gamzat was actually my favorite fighter to watch. He showed extraordinary ability, extraordinary promise, but professional fighting is a different animal than amateur fighting, as he's discovering here.
Big test here for Gamzat, and obviously this fight not over yet. With about 90 seconds left, Zack Lang is going to try to get out from underneath Gamzat. Easier said than done as he looks for the switch and attempts to jump on the back. I'll tell you the discipline that these fighters have out of Eagles MMA under Abdul Manap, a guy that is all business. And it really shows here in this fight. And it looks like Zack Lang maybe lost his mouth guard.
In the event of a missing mouth guard, the referee will wait until there's a time he can safely break him for a moment and then reinsert the mouthpiece. Doesn't have to be instantaneous.
Battling it out here, jockeying for position. Both fighters scrambling, and still, though, in the mount, in the guard, excuse me. Gamzat Magomedov showing how good he is, how relentless, how suffocating this young Russian fighter really is.
Incidentally, Cyrus, there are now new unified rules. Not all commissions have adopted them, but that bottom heel kick that we used to see Royce Gracie doing that you saw just now is one of the products of the new rule set, which is in use here.
And there it is. That'll be the end of this fight, a very eventful fight. Both fighters leaving it all inside the cage. Zack Lang doing all that he could, throwing some great strikes, but I just think he was in a bad position for the majority of the fight. Taking a look at the replay there, and Zack who took that devastating inside leg kick, did a lot of damage. Lang just couldn't get his feet underneath him, had a hard time dealing with that come forward technique by Gamzat Magomedov. Most likely we'll see a decision go to Gamzat, but you never want to leave it in the hands of the judges. It always makes things interesting. Some great experienced officials here at Brave 12, KHK Legacy. As we await the decision from our MC, Carlos Kramer, as they're still tallying up those scores. That could mean this is a very, very close fight. We'll see if it goes to a split decision or if it's going to be all cards to Gamzat. Let's send it up to Carlos.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for these two warriors leaving it all in the cage tonight. After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Your first judge has the belt for Lang. Your second judge has the belt for Magomedov. And your third judge scores the belt in favor of, and your winner by split decision, out of the red corner, Gamzat Magomedov.
As I said, Cyrus, this one came down to judges' opinion as to what's more important, control or striking. Ultimately, there is no answer to that. I'm sure partisans for either side would have argued the other way about their fighter winning, but the honest matter is it was a judgment call.
You have a fantastic win for Gamzat Magomedov. We'll be back with more action from Brave 12 KHK Legacy.
Let's get it underway and send it up again to the roaring line. Carlos Kramer, your tail of the tape, shows the age difference. He is experienced. The weight was just missed as well, but let's send it up to Carlos Kramer to get us underway in bout number 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your next bout of the evening is 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 1 win and 2 losses. He stands 170 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 61.3 kilograms. Representing SBG Charlestown from Ireland, give it up for Ian Concrete Cleary. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this man's a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 3 wins and 1 loss. He stands 175 centimeters tall and weighs a ready 61.4 kilograms. Representing KHK MMA from the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain, give it up for Hamzat Magomedov. Your referee is Leon Roberts.
Just before and as Carlos was announcing, Hamzat Magomedov in Cleary was jumping around as if he was a spring coil waiting to go, almost like he knew
first
something.
round, you ready to fight? You ready to fight? Bring it on.
We're underway, a touch of gloves. Cleary is in the white and red, Magomedov is in the black and grey.
Cleary light on his feet. You see Magomedov has the feet planted a little bit more. But we see this sometimes from wrestlers. Oh, big shot by Ian Cleary right down the pipe and then slips out.
Cleary is the one taking control of the center. Showing different looks, just pulling that jab out there and looking for the low kick. Magomedov hits a nice low kick, but one was a calf kick. Beautiful shot, just it. Cleary, no, he's not going to control the dance, but nice movement by Cleary. And something you said, Phil, in the breakdown was that uppercut. He's definitely through it.
He needs to at least show Magomedov that he has the uppercut loaded, that he has the knee loaded to warn off the takedown attempts.
Magomedov just missed with that right hand, a slip on the canvas, but Cleary done well just to get his head off center line there. Cleary, that was a close call.
That was as close as can be. What you just witnessed could have ended it. What you just witnessed right there could have ended it. This fight could end at any second.
You see Magomedov almost stopping Ian Cleary, forcing him. Again, I think he's trying to force him against the cage and maybe shoot him for the takedown.
Cleary through the right hand, and Magomedov was waiting with that right counter just as Ian dipped off to his left-hand side. Got to be careful. Magomedov potentially may have got a read there, but Cleary staying light, throwing heavy shots here.
He needs to be wary after throwing that 1-2. We just seen the feint there from Magomedov as if he was going to throw the straight to counter.
Magomedov keeping that right hand high and bringing it out. A knee could be coming there. You can see Cleary trying to potentially pull him down for the knee there. Switches to southpaw.
Oh, beautiful leading uppercut right there from Ian Concrete Cleary.
Sergio Cleary with a nice uppercut, followed by a right hand and turns Magomedov into a takedown.
That was because of the big shot that Ian Cleary landed, forcing the wrestler to clinch.
Looking for the strong underhook here and then trying to rip Magomedov off, but Magomedov gets the takedown as he normally does when he gets his two hands clasped.
Magomedov doing what Magomedov does best. We can see him now trying to get that hook. And now he takes the back. This is not a good position for Ian Cleary.
Ian Cleary just trying to get back up and take the back, so he's going to have to fight hands here and try separate.
Very intelligent from Magomedov. He's using the knees to the thigh to take away that spring in the step of Ian Cleary. Very smart.
He's trying to turn and maybe turn into Magomedov. Try and separate them hands. Easier said than done. A big takedown with the cross again. Just shows the strength and technique of Hamzat. And this is the problem, Cleary. Ian is defending here, but as soon as the moment presents itself, the takedown comes. He Cleary tries to get back to his feet, and the takedown will come again. It's exhausting part of mixed martial arts.
One of the most dangerous times in a fight is when you're coming right off the floor. It's very, very hard to keep your opponent off your back, and Concrete was not able to do that. Brave Nation, I am not sure through the television set how much you can tell, but these knees are landing to the legs like a cricket bat.
Ian has just broke the grip briefly there in his corner, shouting for him to turn into Magomedov.
He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to create a little bit of separation, a little bit of space and turn in. But Magomedov does what he does best and just maintains that vice-like grip and thundering those knees into the thighs.
Landed at least 20 to 25 knees. And as you said, I'll take the spring out of the step, and that affects everything from movement to power generated in shots as well. So methodical work and smart work. And Cleary separates. Let's see how the arms are from grappling now. In Cleary will want to come forward.
That was huge. Ian Cleary decided no, he's not going to play a game anymore. He's going in for the kill, swinging a miss from both men.
Ian Cleary has certainly stepped on the accelerator. He wants to get that couple of minutes back that he was stuck in the grappling exchange. Thrown plenty of feints and looks at Magomedov. Magomedov marked up underneath the left eye. Cleary is bringing the fight here.
That switch lead uppercut is working really well for Ian Cleary.
That shot looked a little laboured, Cleary, coming from Magomedov. Actually, the gas tank could be lowering here for the fighter.
It's not the gas tank, but his bell got wrong. When your bell gets wrong, 5 to 10 seconds, you'll be fine. But for that 5 to 10 seconds, you're not.
Nice teeth to the body in between Magomedov there, but Cleary is really trying to put the brakes on his opponent. Excellent work, but big kick back from Magomedov. Sounds like a baseball bat.
It's just the difference in the style of kicks. Ian Cleary's kicks are landing, but Magomedov's kicks are digging into Ian Cleary. That's the difference maker.
It's almost like Magomedov's trying to kick the person beside you and kick through you. But nice mark under that left eye. There's your 10-second clocker.
Cleary might try and land something big here in the closing stanzas.
Impressive by Cleary after the separation to let Magomedov know he's in a fight here. He's going to put the fight to him and put pressure on him. An excellent opening round here in the bantamweight division. But Ian Cleary, a big fight, a big opportunity against a high-level fighter. How comfortable do you feel after 5 minutes in the cage, Phil?
Well, he's now felt the power, he's now felt the strength of Magomedov. But he's bound to take confidence from the closing stanzas right there. He landed big shots. Again, that lead uppercut was beautiful. I'd like to see him maybe follow that up with a straight down the pipe.
Let's check out a little bit of action in the first round. And there was the switch of stance to southpaw on that lead uppercut, Kieran. Beautiful work by Cleary.
It was indeed. One of the newest developments in this sport is shifting, is going from an orthodox stance to a southpaw, and you just saw an absolutely multiple examples of it.
Beautiful, both fighters throwing, and both fighters are throwing fight-ending shots here in exchange. And that's a baseball bat slap that we just heard coming to the end of the round. But Owen Roddy will be happy with his fighter. What advice would he be giving, do you think, in that corner, Phil?
Try and maintain the distance as much as possible. Use your jab as a little bit more of a rangefinder. And then once you've kept that jab in the face, then fire off your heavy shots.
Stay right there, beyond that line. Right there.
Ian Roberts just making sure the fighters are ready to go for the second round. The cage door is closed.
Okay, second round, you ready? You ready? Bring it up.
Cleary trying to find that range, that jab out. Oh, he gets caught beautifully. Magomedov just lands the shot and cuts the angle to get away.
I like what Cleary's doing with the head movement here. He's showing little feints and keeping that head off center line. Just got caught there, looking for that flying knee again.
Cleary's guard's a little bit higher now. He's boxing a little bit more intelligently. I like what I'm saying. Needs to be careful not to drop the hands when he throws that inside leg kick. There's potential there for Magomedov to land a big living overhand.
It's almost like Magomedov is waiting. He's sussing out what Cleary's doing in the second round here. He hasn't put out much output himself. Cleary looking at that lead uppercut, switching southpaw stance yet again. Back orthodox, and now Magomedov throws his first.
Nice combination and digs right into the body.
Beautiful work by Cleary. Starting to get confident there yet again. Turns Magomedov into that wrestler, but as we see, that takedown. Do you really want to turn that man into that wrestler? Looking inside the troll here, Magomedov. This is not where you want to be.
He just ties his opponent up beautifully. He's got that cradle position right now, which completely immobilizes the hips of Ian Cleary.
Cleary is looking.
Put the hand on the head now, yeah?
Trying to get an underhook here and recover maybe. Full guard bounce as well, but keep your shape and done with Magomedov looking to the outside.
Gamzat Magomedov is happy to sit in this half-guard position, the anchor position, if you will, and land his strikes from there.
And this is the frustrating part of the fight, I think, for Cleary. He was having success on the feet in both rounds, and when Magomedov gets the distance closed, he gets it down to the mat, and he finds himself grappling and defending for your life.
Back to guard.
Good work sliding, he's almost inside the top, using that head position just to anchor down and put all his weight on Cleary, make him carry it.
Out the skull, Hamzat.
Hamzat does not employ an orthodox hierarchy of position. He's a wrestler. This is riding. It can take all kinds of different forms. He's completely happy to be here in top half guard.
And what this also does, gentlemen, is it's going to zap the gas tank of Ian Cleary. It's going to deplete him because he's the one putting in all the work. He's the one engaging his muscles to try and get out of this position.
Then if we do get back to the feet, gentlemen, Ian Cleary might be a little bit trigger shy to pull the trigger on attacks because he knows Magomedov is going to change levels and look for that takedown. Sitting in half guard now, his position. Cleary trying to do a little bit of fighting from the bottom, but his corner just asking him to make the adjustments on bottom. And Phil, what does he do from this position with such an elite grappler above him? How does he get out of here?
He's doing the right thing by turning to one hip and trying to slide out, create a little bit of distance, even retain guard. I'd like to see him be a little bit more active with the hips, maybe get that foot on the hip of Magomedov,
back of the head.
away to create a little bit of distance.
Let's go. Come on in, let's go back.
And if although he's in a good control position, heavy thrown was shot down on top of Cleary. Purely being grappling, Cleary trying to scoot his hips to get back to the cage. He needs to be careful of giving up that back like as he did in the first round, but good work by the Irishman to get it back to the cage wall here. As he stands straight away, not a problem for Magomedov. He says, you want to stand up, take your back. That's what he's done, and now it's a battle of hands yet again.
We're seeing a repeat of what happened in the opening stanzas of this fight. We're seeing Magomedov with that body lock, launching in those knees, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a high elevation takedown coming from Magomedov.
Magomedov is just making adjustments. He's going back to them heavy knees on the left thigh of Cleary. Cleary switches sides. That's good. Although he's looking to take the Kimura quick there. Maybe just trying to give his left thigh a break and turn it the other way, Phil.
Needs to try and dig in for an underhook. Needs to turn in, dig in for his underhook. But you can see now he's blocking those knees, which means that they're starting to cause him damage.
Magomedov plays head position and just control of his opponent. And this is something you see, the high-level grappling that is Hamzat Magomedov. And it's just so difficult for the opponents to get out of there. But that's the puzzle that you have to solve. You have to stop this. You know he wants to grapple. You know he wants to take it down. Your job, Kirk, is to stop it.
It is indeed. In order to reach the highest levels of mixed martial arts, you either have to have tremendous wrestling or be able to deal with tremendous wrestling. Cleary clearly is hitting heavy and hard on the outside, but he doesn't yet have an answer to the wrestling game.
Again, it's just constant pressure. He's constantly making Cleary carry his weight, leaning into him all the time, just emptying the tank and taking it slow. Cleary landing some shots, looking to maybe explode and turn, but again, Hamzat just makes the adjustments, looking to pick that ankle, and it looks like Cleary dropping down, but again, the ankle pick is going to run out of time in the second round, but wrestling, as we say, has been winning this fight so far for Hamzat Magomedov. Cleary's going back to his corner. What advice, Cleary, if you were in that corner, what advice are you giving Ian Cleary?
Get on that bicycle. He's got to use side-to-side movement, and he's got to pop in and out. If he simply stalks forward, he's going to get put on his back again, and it won't be pretty.
Again, plenty of success for Cleary in the round on the feet. It's just so difficult. As we see here, the exchanges, got beautiful distance, got his head off center, and that's on digs to the body. Bass rooting and smiling somewhere. That's where the hand went up. He got a little happy with his work. Beautiful shot. We've seen that again. That is a beautiful shot. But he almost got comfortable on him, controlling the fight here, turned the wrestler into wrestling mode, and that's where the fight took place for the rest of that round.
Well, that's what we see with Magomedov. He has the type of skill set with that wrestling that he can dictate where the fight goes. If he wants to keep it standing, he can. If he needs to take the fight to the ground, as we've seen, he can and he will.
Magomedov will be happy to continue to fight as it's gone with that grappling, but Ian Cleary potentially curious, does he need to finish this fight to get the victory?
There's the oldest saying in mixed martial arts, never leave it in the hands of the judges. Nobody knows what's on those judges' scorecards, including these two fighters.
Gentlemen, third and final, you ready? You ready? Bring it up.
Ian Cleary looks fresh as Magomedov coming into the third and final round here at Braves Combat Federation 24 London. Hope you're enjoying the fight thus far. Big third round needed here, you feel, for the Irishman.
Dip and go, buddy.
Ian Cleary really needs to turn the pressure up, maintain that distance. He can't get caught admiring his shots. He needs to land the shots, move, try and land more.
Beautiful right kick to the body by Magomedov again. The baseball-like style, cracking off the ribs of Cleary, very wears it well. Switches to southpaw yet again, giving the different looks to Magomedov. You can tell him Magomedov just waiting for Cleary to come out of the change levels and drop.
I'm not inside Magomedov's head, but I believe he may be trying to get some ring time here. He knows where his wrestling is. It's at a world-class level. There he goes for it.
Big sprawl by Ian Cleary. But Magomedov slowly just rips that leg in. Cleary's doing well. He needs that big sprawl again. Here goes. He's got it. This could be vital if he can survive it. Starts to take down to that big, but he's locked up against the cage where we've seen Magomedov have success in round 1 and 2 previously.
Like this, Magomedov just needs to. They're just going to try and elevate the beautiful work. And this is again, it's what we've seen in rounds 1 and 2. We've seen Magomedov impose his superior wrestling, land his strikes, and just tiring Cleary out.
Go to your feet, you can roll over that in, off the cage, roll if you want.
But it's that battle of hands as
Come
well.
on.
Needs to separate the hands of Magomedov. He's going to throw the kitchen sink down. Now you will be sure if we separate, go at him and really try to make this a fight. But so far, he cannot solve this puzzle, this vice-like grip that is Hamzat Magomedov.
Solid takedown there from Magomedov. He clings to you like glue. His chest is essentially buried into your back or buried into your chest. and the only time you really can move
Elbow, there it
is
is.
into another disadvantageous position.
Every time he gets taken down, Ian Cleary is trying to get back to his feet every time. He's not giving up the position. He is not giving up the fight. He's got just over 2.5 minutes to turn this one around.
Catch the left
But
elbow,
he is
step over
really
the trip.
trying to break that grip. But each time he throws, Magomedov changes to something else, pips that ankle, and now goes in on a single. It's almost like he knows what you're about to do, and he's 1 or 2 steps ahead in the grappling exchanges.
He does indeed, and making Cleary's job even harder is this cage wall in front of us. The classic way to break from back body lock is to control the hands and sag the hips away from the body. But with a cage there, that's impossible.
Go, go, go.
Magomedov doing the fight IQ to just hold Cleary up, lean on him, because he knows it's winning
Ian,
the fight.
step behind with your left foot and put your left elbow out.
And the impetus really is on Ian Cleary to do something here. Magomedov's happy to stay in this position. He's essentially accumulating points with his control.
Elbows in, let's go.
Cleary really needs to
Back,
find the
over.
energy from somewhere to break that vice-like grip from Magomedov and return it to where he was having his most success was in the stand-up.
Cleary looking to slowly get up on Magomedov falls.
Come on, let's go,
Good
come
work
on.
by Magomedov. He can do
Let's
nothing but impressive grappling.
come on.
Elite level grappling. And again, there it is. Switches to the single. Looking to pick the ankle. Cleary stops it.
Single leg defense.
Elbows could be there for Cleary when the head is down low. He separates. Big shot landed. But Magomedov, Cleary wore it.
Pull out the cage, come on, pull those in.
And again, it shows the intelligence of Magomedov to separate momentarily, land the strikes, and then straight back in for the takedown.
Downward elbows here, but you have to be selective of where you're aiming. There's a short elbow by Cleary, and good punch. The cage is stopping him, Cleary. Every time he kicks his legs out to sprawl down, hits the cage, is pushing him. Just under a minute to go in the third and final round. Cleary is going, he's trying everything. What else can he try here?
As you say, he's trying to sense everything, but he's trying to use the cage wall to try and get to his feet. But we see Magomedov triangling the legs to try and elevate them slightly. Because if your feet are above your head, you're immobilized.
Back to his feet, looking to separate. Cleary, he's got to control everything. He's got the separation. Here's the low ticket. Boy, the ticket, pointing the ground, land the shot. Cleary coming out.
Cleary wants it. He's calling on Magomedov. He wants a firefight. Cleary wants it. It showed how intelligent Magomedov was right there. Because he wasn't going to get drawn into a firefight, knowing how dangerous Ian Cleary is. He's done the right thing. He bided his time and essentially wrapped up the fight with a beautiful takedown.
I think we know who won this fight, but I want to give a huge shout out to Concrete Theory. Concrete hands, strong body, and an indomitable will.
Big performance on the debut against an opponent that not a lot of people would be queuing up to sign a contract in Hamzat Magomedov. Ian Cleary represents himself well, and I know Yusuf Nazir, our matchmaker here, he's seen a fighter that wants to bring a fight and take a fight, sign Ian Cleary up on a brave contract right now, a multiple deal, an incredible fight. You can see him bringing up, this was the story Phil of the fight, then takedown, and Ian Cleary's defensive grappling against the offensive Hamzat Magomedov.
Yeah, in mixed martial arts, the takedown is gospel. And Magomedov, just every time he had the opportunity to initiate with the clinch, with the body lock, and score the takedown, incredibly intelligent. But what heart, what determination, what guile by Ian Cleary to stay in there to the very end and try to engage in a firefight.
Beautiful left and right hand landed by Magomedov separation. But this is where Ian Cleary got a chance. The separation was there, pushes away, just missed Magomedov. We can almost see the tiredness of Magomedov, and Ian Cleary waves him on. Max Holloway like points to the center of the cage and says, let's brawl. But Magomedov knew he was moments away from winning the fight. But pushing the action, Ian Cleary landed a big shot that just missed there, and almost got the lotto ticket with a winning number. Great respect, and that's what Brave Combat Federation is all about. Let's send it up to your judges' scorecards, and the man to announce your winner, the best in the business, the roaring line, Carlos Kramer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for these two warriors. What a fight! After 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. 2 judges score about 30-27, and the last judge scores about 29-28. For your winner, by unanimous decision, out of the red corner, from KHK MMA and Russia, Hamzat Magomedov!
Striking game. Let's go to the tail of the tape. There we see both men very young at 24 and 26 respectively. Slight height advantage goes to Banario. Must be said, when he won the 2017 IMAF title, he defeated 5 men in 5 days. So the prospect of fighting Banario, that's going to seem like small fry to this man. Let's send it up to the Roaring Lion, Mr. Carlos Kramer, to get things officially popping off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting a historic night with our classic first battle. 3 rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing your first warrior. Fighting out of the blue corner. This is a professional record of 5 wins and 1 loss. He stands 176 tall and weighs already 61.6 kilograms. Representing Team Lakai and fighting out of the Philippines. Put your hands together for Harold the Artist Banario! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This is a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He stands 169 centimeters tall and weighs already 61.4 kilograms. Representing KHK MMA out of the magnificent Kingdom of Bahrain by way of Russia. Please welcome Gamzat Magomedov. Your referees, Lee Doyle.
Seconds away, Phil.
Here we have it. Veteran referee Lee Doyle draws the first assignment of the night. It's the Philippines versus the Kingdom of Bahrain. And in the immortal words of the Joker, here we go.
It's on! Respectful glove touch.
Both men fighting out of the orthodox stance. I think what we're going to see is utilization of jab work from Harold. He's going to be acutely aware of just how dangerous this stifling, suffocating game of Hamzat Magomedov is.
Phil, I'd really like to see the artist moving around a little bit more than we're seeing.
Oh, beautiful front kick right to the chops. That might elicit the shot from Gamzat. He seems to be just trying to pressure Harold against the cage and then shoot in from there. Has that beautiful style of once he gets to the cage, there's almost an inevitability about his takedowns, utilizing good footwork of both men.
Gamzat, of course, is highly respectful of that kicking game. Those Sanda kicks should take you out. I did not believe I would see that.
Banario with the
shot.
Nice knee in the clinch there from Harold.
Phil, I think from a psychological point of view, that was a huge moment. He said, anything you can do, I can do too.
Banario has the underhook on his left side, using that just to try and lever the body of Gamzat Magomedov towards himself.
Gamzat setting up a takedown.
That's a huge movement. Speaking about huge moments, that was absolutely huge. The trip defended, but there we have it against the cage. Big elevation takedown. Boom! Beautiful from Magomedov, and this is where he really shines. This is where we see the beautiful nuanced wrestling that he hones at KHK MMA in Bahrain.
Banario does have guard. That guard is not completely passed. Be interesting to see what he does with it.
Utilizing the knee shoot well. They use that to create a little bit of separation, but Gamzat just keeping him honest with those punches to the body and free him off elbows.
Banario's head position is very smart. He's got a knee shield in, but he's keeping that head in close. And I believe there was some accidental contact with the groin. The referee is not going to stop it. That was not an illegal blow.
Oh,
Banario has tapped out.
Tap due to strikes, tap due to strikes. There's something not right there with Harold. But Gamzat Magomedov doing exactly the right thing. You fight on as long as the referee tells you to do so. Landed some heavy ground and pound and elicited the tap from Harold the Artist Banario.
It's conjecture on my part, Phil. I think there was perhaps a slip of the cup, but that was not an illegal technique from Gamzat Magomedov. He did nothing wrong. The referee did nothing wrong. In the absence of an illegal blow, you cannot stop a fight simply because a fighter's in pain and asks you to. In fact, you cannot stop the fight.
But he showed what a gentleman he was by looking to the referee first. He got the go-ahead from the referee, and then, in keeping with the rules of mixed martial arts, went on until the referee called an end to the action.
Gamzat is a product of KHK MMA. He shows great character. You're seeing it right here. He's embracing his opponent. Phil, nobody did anything wrong there. It was an accident. Accidents happen. An accident did happen. The fight is over. Gamzat Magomedov is our first winner of the night.
Runs his professional record to now 5-1 with 3 wins by way of finish. Fantastic way to cap off the year for the young Dagestani-born man representing the beautiful kingdom of Bahrain.
I have seen this before, Phil, without getting into too much detail. I believe there was a cup slip. Phil, let's have a look at the replay, brother. Should be coming up momentarily. Perhaps we can see exactly where the slip-up occurred.
So there we see Gamzat going to work, landing the little pot shots, advancing his position, and as you say, it's something errant with the equipment as opposed to something that Gamzat's done. He looked to the referee, showed what a gentleman sportsman he is. Referee gave him the nod, and he continued to land that fight-ending ground and pound, eliciting the tap due to strikes. There we see a great start from Harold Banario. Landed a beautiful front kick, went in for the shot, which was defended expertly by the wrestling champion himself. There we see the end of the round, round and pound. Heavy, heavy hands from that half guard position, that anchor position, again eliciting the tap.
Thank you to our sponsor, Green Hill, for the replay.
We just got word from our referee, Lee Doyle, that it was a malfunctioning piece of equipment, the cup there.
Phil, I liked how this fight was going so far. I love the fact that Banario actually shot on the great Russian wrestler. Harold Banario being stretchered out. He's going to get world-class medical care here. I have every confidence he'll be all right tomorrow.
For the first time tonight, let's make things official by throwing it up to the roaring lion, Mr. Carlos Kramer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, an explosive end to our first battle in the cage tonight. This one comes to an end at 2 minutes and 6 seconds of the very first round. TKO, tap out due to strikes, your winner, Gamzat Magomedov!
Big thanks to Arwa, our beverage sponsor.
Gamzat, 25 years old, Matisse, 23, slightly taller is Gamzat, and this fight has dynamite, has fireworks, has excitement written all over it, Kirik. Matisse starting with a nice wide base.
Matisse is such a devastating striker. I could predict a quick end of this fight, but Gamzat Magomedov has incredible endurance. He's got an iron chin. I think this fight is going to go back and forth and back and forth.
Matisse also showed against Belal Tipsayev that he does have a quality wrestling pedigree. And let's not limit Gamzat. You know, there's a misconception that Gamzat is just a wrestler. He is an incredibly well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's very dangerous with the hands too. 2 wins by way of KO or TKO. Shot gets through there for Matisse Saharovs. You can hear Philip Malpeter in his corner, giving Chris Fields a run for his money as the loudest corner man in the history of mixed martial arts.
There's a little bit of a stereotype about Russian fighters that they tend to be wrestling heavy. He's a KHK Team Bahrain fighter. He is a complete fighter.
Matisse staying on the bike, constant movement, perpetual motion to his left and his right. Does not want to be a static target for someone like Gamzat Magomedov. Charging forward is Gamzat. Wry smile on the face of Matisse Saharovs. This is the kind of fight he loves. He loves testing himself against the best possible opposition, and that's exactly what he has in the form of the 2017 IMAF World Champion, Gamzat Magomedov.
A little bit of a height difference that Matisse is using to his advantage.
Nice work to the body and catches Gamzat. Gamzat fires back with reckless abandon. Need to be wary of that piston-like left straight right down the pipe from Matisse Saharovs. He's having a little bit of success with that front kick to the stomach.
Phil, that was perfect timing. That straight left landed earlier. Corner was like, keep your hands up. Second time that came in on a single. May well be able to get it down to the ground. If he can, it'll be extremely telling. And the outcome of this fight, and he did it.
And that is the freakish strength of Gamzat Magomedov, and here we see just how nuanced and clever his wrestling is. Momentarily elevated the hips of Matisse Saharovs, and Saharovs is in the deep, shark-infested waters of the ground with Magomedov.
Hard to take a man down, but statistically it's even harder to keep him down in mixed martial arts. We are seeing an outstanding job from the KHK representative in keeping his opponent down.
Nice work from Gamzat Magomedov to bring Matisse Saharovs into the center of the cage, away from the cage wall, whereupon he may have been able to use it to get back up again. So much more difficult to get up in the center of the cage as opposed to being pressed against it.
And if you do make it up, as you're seeing right here, your opponent's gonna have your back. There's no cage that you can push your back up against and stop the back take from happening. Excellent technique going back and forth.
Nice work from Matisse Saharovs to get the fight back to the feet. What he needs to do now is break that grip and turn inside towards Gamzat. This is the subtlety of mixed martial arts. This is the battle within the battle.
Gamzat back on that high crotch. Solid defense.
Trying to work that single leg.
Ran the pipe successfully, but it is hard to keep him down. Ankle pick.
That is beautiful work from Gamzat, and then beautiful defensive work from Matisse Saharovs.
You just had an illustration there, Brave Nation, about why when you stand up, you want to have the fence on your back. Your opponent it's much more difficult for your opponent to take your back if you've got a fence to jam it up against.
Saharovs momentarily threatened with the guillotine, but he now has the hand post. It hasn't been taken down entirely, but Gamzat doing the right thing by trying to shelf those legs. Now takes the back right in front of us here in our broadcast position. Breaking the grip is Matisse Saharovs. Trying to get that heavy whizzer, but Gamzat really is just all over him like white on rice trying to get that takedown.
Possible figure four on the wrist coming.
Using it more so as a defensive technique to negate the takedown, but Gamzat just springs those hips out from underneath Matisse.
Once again, Brave Nation, as always in the sport, there's a risk reward when you try, boom, down to the ground. When you try and hit, when you're pushed up against the fence, it does compromise your balance to an extent, and you're more likely to end up down on the ground like you saw right there.
Cheeky little back elbows there from Matisse Saharovs in the closing stanzas of this first round.
Whew, exciting round. Two give each other a little look of respect.
Obviously, the KHK team Bahrain guys are incredibly well conditioned, but sometimes that type of offensive wrestling style can deplete the cardio of the offensive wrestler as well.
Absolutely, Phil. Moving purposefully on the outside, throwing the occasional inside low kick, throwing that long jab does not, relatively speaking, take up an extraordinary amount of energy. Getting in tight on those hips, switching, single, double, high crotch, taking the back, trying for a back body lift, slamming the opponent down, trying to scramble. It takes a lot of energy. We see now Matisse Saharovs is standing in his corner. He doesn't even feel the need for a stool. Extremely impressive, and there is the call for seconds out. Decky Larkin's not having it. He's going to start shoving fools momentarily.
Now, this is the best possible outcome for Matisse Zaharovs. Every fight starts standing, and this is exactly where he wants to be. He was having some early success with the hand, so every fight, as we say, starts on the feet.
But in order to throw a shot, you have to get yourself out of position to defend a leg attack. Beautiful long side kick. Not seen too often.
There's a little bit, I think that's a sponsorship logo on the shorts of Matisse Zaharovs. There's a little bit flapping there. Referee Decky Larkin might get rid of that, but it doesn't seem to be impeding the fight in any way, shape, or form at the minute. Matisse trying to land that jab to straight combination. Gamzat fires back with a big overhand. May use that big overhand to work his way in for the clinch takedown. And what I like so much about the work of Gamzat is it's all about those upper body tie-ups. He is a master at digging for the underhook.
Again, Matisse Saharov's trying, those kicks are basically window dressing. That's what he's trying to land. Right there is that big straight left, but in order to do that, he's got to elevate his hips a little bit to the point he can be taken down. Fantastic defense from Matisse Saharovs.
And that's a little bit of a win within the fight, as we talk about being able to defend the onslaught. But again, massive overhands from Gamzat Magomedov. You can hear Philip Malpeter asking or encouraging his fighter to keep touching his opponent and circle, circle, circle. It needs to keep needs to be careful, keep skirting that outside of the cage, but right now, Matisse, I think he feels a little bit of the winds of change here at Arad Fort.
Very impressive strategy from Gamzat. He's the shorter fighter, does not have the reach advantage, so he keeps his head moving side to side, up and down, and presses the entire time.
It's not unlike the Belal Tipsayev fight that Matisse Zaharovs had. He was taken down early in the first, but then he just turned it up, and again, almost Nick or Nate Diaz style, just peppered his opponent with shots, and it's the cumulative damage, the cumulative effect of those shots that he lands that causes the damage. Oh, he caught him there! Big shot landed! He caught him there. And he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's stepping off.
We're at short time. Maybe it's short time now.
Matisse Zaharovs trying to take the back, trying to get the submission. But surely if you're Matisse Zaharovs, you want to stand up in this position. He's just potentially giving Gamzat Magomedov a little bit of a reprieve. Oh, tried the home run, one-header quitter. This fight is fantastic.
Huge shot attempted. It's what happens when you try a surprising shot. Sometimes it surprises you. Magomedov now in exactly where he wants to be, letting his head clear in deep on those hips.
I was just about to ask you, Carrick, is this enough time for Magomedov to let the cobwebs clear a little bit and regain his focus, senses, and equilibrium?
Liver shot goes away in about 48 hours. Body shot goes away in about 2 minutes. Head shot goes away in 5 to 10 seconds. Absolutely. The KHK man's head is now clear.
Big high crotch being attempted and successfully completed by Gamzat. Perhaps a little bit of frustration on the part of Matisse Zaharovs, knowing that he had his man hurt and now eating some shots.
There's an adrenaline dump that can occur when you think you have the fight won and you put everything into it and it doesn't happen. When your man guts through and is still standing in front of you, it does have a tough effect on an awful lot of fighters.
But what Matisse Zaharovs has shown is that he does have the ability, he does have the power to hurt Gamzat, and right now he's showing solid takedown defense. Trying to get in, create a little bit of separation. Big takedown again from Gamzat with a minute to go in the second round.
Gamzat looking to shelf the legs. If he does so, he'll get at least one shot into the head of his opponent and perhaps just as importantly, rack up some points on the judges' scorecards.
And Carrick, what does a big shot like the likes that Gamzat just ate there that wobbled him a little bit, what does that do to the longevity cardio of a fighter? Does that deplete it?
It does not. That's the incredible thing about headshots is they are not money in the bank. I don't know the physiology behind it. But body shots tend to wear a fighter down. Headshots, 10 to 15 seconds later, you're back in the game as if it didn't happen.
30 seconds to go. Matisse Zaharovs forced to defend. the rear naked choke. Now Gamzat could just slice through into
Gift
the mount
wrap.
position.
Both hooks are in.
Flattened them out, 20 seconds left, eating big shots.
What a turnaround in this fight. Little scramble. Gamzat stays on top.
Matisse surviving, 10 seconds left to go. Will he see the third round? Gamzat valiantly trying to finish the fight. This fight has been swinging like a pendulum, Carrick.
Absolutely incredible back and forth round. That is mixed martial arts. Down. Crowd thought it was going to be stopped. Denied that Russian toughness. Came through and fought back. And it was nearly winning it at the end of the round.
Here you see the smart work from Mati Saharov. Stick and move, land the big shots, wobbled Gamzat Magomedov, and surely that has to be the game plan. Perhaps a little bit of youthful exuberance from Mati Saharov's diving in the way he did. Philip Malpeter in the corner of Matisse will be telling him, get on your bike, land your shots. But what are the KHK team Bahrain guys telling Gamzat in the corner, Carrick?
They are telling him his man is going to get in a bicycle, circle from the outside, and try and throw those long shots. They're going to tell him when those shots come in, level change, try and get in on the hips and do your thing. Switch from the double to the high crotch to the back. He's had great luck with it, but when he gets it down to the mat, he's got to be just a little bit more aggressive. He's got to take some chances and try and stop him.
So if Matisse is being told to get on his bike, Gamzat is being told to puncture those tires. Incredibly exciting third round in prospect here.
Gamzat's got to feel a little momentum now.
But Mati Saharov's he's got the eyes of a wild man that just loves the fight. Be interesting to see the first big shot that Mati Saharov's tries to uncork. Gamzat plodding forward, may look like it's a little bit of a plodding style, but he is so dangerous in the context of a mixed martial arts battle.
That inside low kick is critical to slowing his opponent down. If he can land maybe two more of those, he cuts that bicycle down a little bit, puts brakes on it. Woo! Beautiful high kick attempt from Mati Saharovs.
Saharovs needs to keep employing that movement. He can't have his back against the cage in that kind of fashion, because that's exactly what Magomedov wants. That's where Mati Saharovs wants to be, right in the center of the Brave Arena. Philip Malpeter calling for Mati Saharovs to stand his ground and land his shots. Nice work from Mati Saharovs to defend the takedown, but Gamzat also gets a shot away.
Like to see Gamzat move that head just a little bit more from side to side. Getting just a little predictable, moving straight in.
Oh, big shot to takedown from Gamzat. Oh, nice elbow from Matisse. But that's a huge takedown.
Boom, down to the ground.
Mati Saharov's right in front of us here in the commentary position. You can see Gamzat just shelving those legs. That is high-level expert wrestling. Gamzat trying to transition into the side control. Good job from Matisse to get his guard back, but where he really wants to be is on his feet, landing big shots. Has the potential to land elbows from the bottom. Gamzat again trying to transition to the pass.
Once again, Phil, I cannot express how impressed I am. Gamzat Magomedov coming back from what I thought very well could be the end and is once again in ascendancy on top.
Showed just how supremely conditioned he is by recovering and scoring a takedown of his own. Needs to be wary of the head-arm triangle here, does Matisse. Does so and gets the arm out of danger. You'd like to see him try and get the feet on the hips to try and push away, to try and create distance, but against someone like Gamzat, that's so much easier said than done.
Phil, fans do, of course, love to see those legs go open, see an armbar attempt. I don't think that's wise here. I don't think an armbar would work. I do think it would end up with his opponent top cross side.
2 minutes left in the third and final round. Saharovs needs to implement that renowned cardio, get his back to the cage, post and get up. Trying to work for the triangle, but Again, easier said than done against somebody with the ability of Gamzat Magomedov.
Excellent elevation attempt. Pass to top half guard.
90 seconds left in the third and final round.
Matisse has done a phenomenal job of regarding, which he's almost accomplished here.
Gamzat doing just enough to keep himself honest, to land the strikes, keep himself honest in the eyes of referee Decky Larkin. Steps over into the half guard position, and with a minute left, it really is do or die right now for young Matisse Saharovs. Gamzat Magomedov doing exactly what he needs to do and just wearing on Matisse Saharovs.
Looking to set up that arm choke again. It was denied by Matisse Saharovs, who to his credit is showing off an excellent guard, and a guard when your head is up against the cage. The Brave Combat Federation cage is no kind of guard at all. Nevertheless, he's doing a good job of protecting himself, but as you can see, not fully. He is taking shots to the head. He is in position to possibly see a submission set up. He's now out.
With just 20 seconds left, might Matisse Saharovs rue the moment where he shot in and tried to take the back of Gamzat midway through the second round? Shots being landed by Gamzat, who finishes the fight. Heel of the tape, you see Mohamed Makayev, only 21 years old. Slight height advantage goes to Gamzat Magomedov. Both men weighed in, on point, on weight. We are ready to go.
Love, touch, and a hug, and there is no more love in these gloves.
We've alluded to a fantastic wrestler is Gamzat Magomedov, but Makayev says that he is happy to wrestle. He's happy to mix up and show off his own wrestling game, as we saw in his last fight against Shoaib Youssef. The fight before that, we saw just how clean his boxing can be when he took on Ciprian Marish in Romania. It's a fantastic jab that he uses to find range and just really pepper the face of his opponent.
Gamzat playing a very careful backing up. The 3 shots that have landed so far were all while he was backing up. And time.
Oh, huge shot from Gamzat. So look at the powers of recovery. And dropped again. He's looking. Gamzat Magomedov. What an absolutely devastating shot from Gamzat Magomedov.
Absolutely unbelievable ending to this fight. Mohamed is on what's called Queer Street. He's not sure where he is right now. He's not doing anything intentionally wrong here. He has not lost his temper. He simply caught 1 shot to the head that was huge, kept fighting, and then caught a second hot shot to the head that's huge, and he no longer is in possession of his senses. You're not seeing poor sportsmanship here. You're seeing somebody who got rocked
That was an absolute, two of the most devastating shots we've seen in a long time. Here comes the first one. Wallet! Huge right hand. Makov does everything he can to try and recover. Probably doesn't have his cognitive senses in check at this stage before he eats another shot.
I think that's why that second shot, which relatively speaking was glancing, I think that's why it had such a devastating effect. There was no recovery from that first shot.
I would love to see a replay of the first knockdown to the second, resulting in the finish, but Gamzat Magomedov showing that he has serious hands.
KHK, Team Bahrain is beating the world. The Irish Thunder, Phil Campbell, is going to enter the Brave Combat Federation cage and have a direct interview with our winner, Gamzat Magomedov. Mohamed Makov is now shaking hands. He's got his senses back.
Perfect. You look incredible.
We're hoping he's going to be able to walk under his own ability to center stage. Yes, he is. We've got a full recovery already. And Carlos Kramer's going to make it official.
All right, Brave Nation, another incredible, explosive bout. This comes to an end at 54 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by knockout, Gamzat Magomedov!
Tail of the tape, you can see Gamzat 27, Borislav 29. Everything else is virtually identical.
Indeed, Phil. Indeed.
Touch of the glove. No touch of the gloves. The first takedown attempt will be telling. But Gamzat showing that he also has hands. That last fight, that eerie KO over Makov was fantastic. Lands a beautiful counter strike there. Catches Borislav coming in.
Beautiful, beautiful head movement from Gamzat. Head never ever stops moving.
There's that sequential strike into wrestling. Big flare double.
It gets real bad from here, Phil.
And Borislav is a master of the submission game, but jiu-jitsu versus Dagestani wrestling. Borislav needs to be careful. Could leave himself susceptible to a Von Flue choke if he continues to hold on to that neck.
Excellent job. Teza manages to get to closed guard. Open it up now. Probably wants to get a foot in on that hip, create a little distance, try and stand. This is not a place he wants to hang out for a long time.
Gamzat happy to sit inside the guard of his opponent and do damage. Old school Tito Ortiz style, grabbing the back of the head. Just twisting the hips to get as much torque as he can into those shots. Doing a great job of any time Borislav tries to make improvements in his position, he elevates the legs over the headline.
Looking potentially for an armbar. It's getting close.
Great
and
job.
The legs are down.
Great job to square the hips off there by Magomedov.
There's the squeeze.
The beginning of a head-on triangle here. If he can scoot to the other side, if he can get out of the guard and scoot himself to the right side. Really is a hallmark of KHK Team Bahrain, isn't it? Just this suffocating style, this dominance we see so often from the KHK team.
It's a reflection of the style of their leader and how hard they train. And, of course, of the great national heritage from Dagestan. Very slick little side-to-side head movement from Nikolic.
Gamzat doing a great job of keeping himself compact, but Borislav trying to work for the armbar again.
For a potential, it could have been a sweep. Armbar, triangle.
Had the guard very high there to try and make something happen. Let it slip down a little. You're watching a chess match unfold in front of us here at Brave CF61 in collaboration with NFC, live from Bonn, Germany. Jump on social media using the hashtag BraveCF61, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Join Brave Nation. Give us your thoughts on the fight and your thoughts on tonight's main event when Marcel Grabinski takes on Lutterbach for a second time.
Nikolic ate a couple of elbows from bottom, trying his level best to land a couple.
You have to give Borislav credit because he's doing a good job of keeping Gamzat close to him so that he can't get the space to fire off the shots, those short elbows. Yes, Nikolic may be the man on the bottom and may be losing the round, but he hasn't absorbed a lot of damage.
He has not, and he's very, very purposeful in his actions. He's not being reactive. He's not losing his mind when he eats a shot. He's got a game plan, and he's trying to make it so.
He's constantly trying to create angles for himself. You have to give him credit.
A little bit of a warning for a heel from bottom. Absolutely unintentional.
I don't even know if it landed.
Little instruction, just when your opponent's on his knees, you can't throw an up kick.
Safety first here at Brave CF. Very dominant round for Gamzat Magomedov. Dominant, if not eventful. Badger bite attempt there. Don't often see that in mixed martial arts, the badger bite from Nikolic.
10 seconds.
Gamzat finishing with some strong ground and pounds. Just to put a little bit of a... Could go for a huge takedown here with a couple seconds left. But no, very, very dominant work from Gamzat.
No ride on Bahrain Airways for Borislav Nikolic. We do get our Brave Gym replay.
Somebody should have told them when the cash starts flowing and their hands start reaching.
There you see just those subtle little microaggressions from Gamzat Magomedov, lifting the legs up to the point of above the head.
There was a little warning.
If you're in the corner of Borislav Nikolic right now, you're going to be acutely aware what the game plan is with Magomedov. Get the takedown, stay inside guard, land your shots. How do you prevent that from happening?
Circular movement. Keep just a little bit. He's the taller fighter. I think he's got the quicker hands. Certainly from A to B, from a distance, he's got the quicker hands because he can get there without any movement of his body, which takes a lot of momentum. Stay on the outside. Circle, going to be a lot harder to take down.
Still very much all to play for, leading into our second round here at Brave CF61 in collaboration with our partners NFC. A stiff jab to open up from Nikolic.
There's a long jab. We're going to see some circling now.
He has to be wary of overcommitting to his strikes because if he were to do that, and we've seen it happen before, Gamzat just changes levels, but he got caught with a shot there. Oh, that jab is sumptuous.
There we go. This is a game plan. Can't get greedy. Can't move straight forward the whole time.
Nope.
Or he's going to land on his backside. This is not a man to stalk.
And the jab is finding the home.
Nice check hook.
And on the takedown is Gamzat. Finishes it. Has to be wary of being caught in the guillotine here. Cannot let Borislav get that leg in across and get that guillotine guard. 4 minutes left in the round. This is not where Borislav Nikolic wants to be at all.
Brave Nation, the single most important discipline in mixed martial arts is, as we've referenced before, wrestling.
Von Flue attempt.
Von Flue attempt. Not quite there yet.
Doesn't quite have the shoulder driving into the carotid artery yet. Would need to turn a little bit more on his side.
Hands are not connected.
Abandons it.
And of all the forms of wrestling, the highest form of wrestling right now in the world, and the world will eventually catch up, is Dagestani wrestling.
He's attempting the Von Flue now. Again, abandons it. Perhaps doing it just to give Borislav something to think about. Good job to get the regard. Still needs to do something definitive. Gamzat happy to sit in this position. He's winning the fight from this position. How badly does Borislav Nikolic want to get back to the feet and start popping that jab off again? As you say, perhaps got a little bit overzealous, Cleary, with the forward momentum as opposed to implementing that lateral side-to-side movement.
Just a little bit, but Nikolic is more likely to get a submission or a knockout out of nowhere. He can lose every second of every minute of every round and turn things around on a dime. The grinder, the mighty, mighty grinder, Gamzat Magomedov, a little bit less likely to get a knockout out of nowhere, a submission out of nowhere. Nikolic biding his time a little bit, staying relatively safe, looking for a cut there with the elbow. Submission always very, very close.
Gamzat Magomedov is an absolute cardio machine. Back in 2017 when he won the IMAF world title at bantamweight, he fought 5 men in 5 days in 5 different fights. Incredible. This is bread and butter to him. A fight every couple of months.
5 fights, 5 days. Took a day off to fly. Bam, right back in training the day after.
Head coach Eldar Eldarov would not have it any other way. And he really has instilled an incredible ethos into the KHK team fighters, that relentless doggedness, not allowing your opponent any time to settle, keeping the pressure on.
That doggedness is not possible without a huge degree of skill. If you simply attack all the time and you don't have a huge amount of skill, you're actually doing the opposite of fighting. You're moving right into attacks that are being set up against you. So when you see these fighters continually attack and attack and attack, it's not just an aggressive attitude, it's also a reflection of tremendous skill.
Trying to work for the armbar here is Nikolic. Can't quite see potential for a trip, but great posture. Trying to work the triangle, but great posture from Gamzat and then into the pass. Now landing big shots. Can he take the back here?
Question for Gamzat, is he gonna take top turtle? Does he want the back?
Has a little bit more time with the back take here than he did at the end of the first round. A big takedown would really seal the round for him in emphatic fashion. Not that he needs it.
Gamzat trying to strike. Trying to position for one last takedown. And he got it! That was Air Bahrain.
Woo! Just on the buzzer, putting a little bit of an exclamation mark on the end of the second round.
As I said, Phil, Borislav, Teza, Nikolic can lose every second, every minute, every round, and can win this fight out of nowhere. Gamzat Magomedov is ahead, 20-19, but he cannot relax for a split second because that's all Teza needs to turn this around.
Does Borislav Nikolic have enough left in the tank to implement the game plan he needs to? That constant lateral movement cannot be moving back and forward, cannot be a prone static target for Gamzat to take down. He quite simply cannot afford to be on his back at all this round.
He's in complete control of his senses. His chest is forward, his head is back, not crunched forward, no pain showing on his face. Stands up early, walks to center cage, eyes firmly on his opponent. He's got everything he needs in this, the third and final round, except the judges.
Needs to send the fighters back to their corners here. Before we begin.
Borislav needs just a little more distance than he's giving himself.
He is finding a home for the jab, to be fair. Like so many wrestlers before him, Gamzat Magomedov does have power in those hands. Another stiff jab from Nikolic.
That's 4.
Has to get his back away from that cage.
He's trying to draw his opponent into punching. He's trying to hit his opponent as he moves in. If you can catch your opponent as they move in, it doubles, even triples, but that's the problem.
Has to be wary of a choke here as well.
When Gamzat Magomedov moves in, it's to move in for a takedown.
But it shows just how good he is. That all of his opponents know what he's going to do. They know he's going to shoot for the takedown, and they cannot stop it. I think he's been successful with every takedown attempt so far in this fight.
He's an absolutely phenomenal fighter, Phil. Back in the day, Muhammad Ali, you knew what he was going to do. He was going to get in those toes, move around, jab. He would even tell you the round he was going to beat you in, and he would still do it. Gamzat Magomedov is cut from the same cloth. He's going to move forward. You might catch him with a few shots, but all that's going to happen, he's not going to get knocked out. All that's going to happen is he's getting reads. He's learning your timing, chooses his moment when you try and move in on him, and boop, you're on your back.
Potential for another big takedown here. Gamzat Magomedov is just relentless.
Magomedov's head positioning is excellent. He's shutting down any attempt at a back elbow from there.
Borislav Nikolic trying to break the grip, but Gamzat Magomedov, his doggedness is unquantifiable, like a little pit bull. Borislav Nikolic must be thinking to himself, what more can I do? How do I get this man off me? Can't break that grip at all. Switching to the double is Gamzat. Could see a big takedown coming here, Carrick. Marches him into the center of the cage. Thought he might have spiked his head a little bit there on the takedown, but looks good.
As long as the fighter is across side, that head is safe. If the fighter's on the same side as his head, you can receive an injury from it. But as long as there's a body underneath you, you can tap your head a little bit. It's not likely to cause anything more than a little thump noise. Gamzat moving to north-south. He's going to strike a little bit, may look to take an arm.
Borislav is keen on this neck at the minute. May try and roll with this if he has enough.
I believe that's what he's trying to set up. He's going to wait for the bodies to go from 90 degrees to 180 and roll, but Gamzat Magomedov, too smart.
Incredible MMA IQ from Gamzat here.
Oh, choke sweep. Potential for a back take, got a front head, and they're back up to standing.
I'd like to see the uppercut from Borislav Nikolic. He has it primed ready there. Less than a minute left. Can Borislav Nikolic steal a victory from the jaws of defeat? But Gamzat doing exactly what he has to do, exhibiting that MMA IQ. Takes the fight where he knows he is the most dangerous. Where he knows he holds all the cards. Potential for another big takedown here.
Brave Nation, this is the problem. When Gamzat Magomedov has a grip on you, everything that happens is bad. When he's on top of you, punches come down, there's always a threat of a guard pass. When he's standing,
oh, beautiful spin out from Gamzat. 10 seconds left.
huge props to Nikolic. Look for a submission, look for a second one. Got taken down, and the round ends. That, Brave Nation, was a textbook example of the grind in mixed martial arts.
Here we're going to see some of that action. Gamzat Magomedov taking deeper breaths. Not quite sure what
Brave Nation, here comes your answer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I announce the decision, I'd like to thank His Excellency, Ambassador Abdulatif Abdullah, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain in Germany. Thank you for your support, Your Excellency. All right, after 3 rounds, we go the judges' scorecards. Your first judge scores about 29-28, and your next 2 judges scored about 30-27 for a unanimous decision victory. Out of the red corner from KHK Team Bahrain, Gamzat Magomedov.